What's up, YouTube? How you guys doing? Smells like Vin here, and I'm gonna be continuing my classic Maiden series. Now, unfortunately, I actually already filmed the Somewhere in Time review, but I accidentally deleted it. So I did the Seventh Son review last night, and I went to go upload them both, and I realized that I deleted the Somewhere in Time review, which I'm very happy with the Seventh Son review. I think it went really well. I thought it was going to be hard. Kind of long, but whatever, I had a lot to say about it. So, I already have that ready to upload, but I'm actually happy that I deleted the Somewhere in Time review by complete accident, because it wasn't that great. I didn't feel that good. My throat was killing me for some reason on Thursday. It's when I did it. Since it's school now, I've been waking up a lot earlier, and when I go home, I'm totally drained. So if I want to do a review, I have to do it before it starts to get near like 9 and 10 and stuff. I know I'm a complete pussy, but I get tired around then, so, and I kept repeating things, my voice is all scratchy and shit, so I want to bring you guys the best review of this highly, highly underrated album, in my opinion, that I can, so we're just going to do it again. Now, first a little bit of history. When Iron Maiden released Power Slave, upon the release of that album, they embarked on the World Slavery Tour, which is one of the biggest tours a rock band ever embarked on. They went all over the world. They just hit every place, everybody, which was great because it showed not only how popular Maiden were, but how loyal they were. I mean, they went everywhere to see their fans, and they brought the great stage show with them. The Egyptian theme and stuff, which if you want to see that in action or hear that in action, look up Live After Death, which is a live album / VHS that the band released. I know I said VHS, but it's on DVD now, but that's when it was first released or whatever. And basically, it's great. I reviewed it if you want to know more about that. But they were tired when they came back, especially Bruce Dickinson, the band's vocalist, which obviously easy to see why. Probably strained his voice. And they took a break. They didn't release an album in '85. I mean, they released Live After Death, but it wasn't a studio album, obviously. And once they got back around to recording Somewhere in Time, they had a bunch of new ideas and a bunch of ambitions that they wanted to get to and fulfill. And if you couldn't already tell by the album title, Somewhere in Time is not a concept album. We're getting there. Hint, hint. But it is an album that has a theme, and that theme is space, time travel, futuristic textures and atmospheres. And what brings this out is the guitar synthesizers and production. The band started using guitar synthesizers on this record, which is really cool. It brings out a different side to Maiden. And the cool thing, what I really like about this record, is that they don't change their sound, they just add to it. And by that, I mean that you have this classic 1980s era Bruce Dickinson sound, and you have this futuristic, spacey atmosphere, and you just meld the two, and you get Somewhere in Time. So they just added to the sound and tweaked it and kind of enhanced it. They didn't change it. And that's really, really cool. I think it's great because they didn't alienate any of their fans, which I don't think a band should be so afraid of their fans anyway. But they kept their sound, but they changed it just enough to make it interesting. And yeah, I love the spaciness of this record. Even the lyrics, too, are all about going back in time, changing your life, maybe being trapped in time, time being stopped. All these kind of weird, spacey ideas with the lyrics, and the music brings it out and creates a lot of atmosphere. So, yeah, production on this album is great. Steve's bass is fantastic. Unfortunately, it's only a little bit less audible than it usually is, but it's not totally, you can't hear it. You always hear it, but it was just a lot more audible in Power Slave and Peace of Mind. but it's not a big deal. You know, you still hear it, especially in songs like Sea of Madness and Caught Somewhere on Time. Especially Sea of Madness, but yeah. The drums sound great, always do. The guitars is where it gets interesting because, like I said, they're using guitar synths, and the guitar synthesizers give the guitars a very metallic, shiny kind of tone, but it really falls in line with the whole futuristic aspect of the album, and it fits perfectly. I wouldn't change anything about the guitars if I could. It doesn't really make much sense because I wouldn't be able to change anything, but you know what I mean. They sound perfect. And while I'm on the guitars, the solos on this album are just some of the best solos that Maiden never did. Dave and Adrian just take it to a new level on this album. Their new kind of cool futuristic tone gives them a lot more flexibility, and you know, the solos, like the solos doing Caught Somewhere in Time, which is the intro track, are amazing. Some of the best Maiden solos ever. They're just fantastic. And yeah, so the production on the guitars are great. The vocals are interesting because they have a lot of reverb on them, which again falls in line with the whole futuristic kind of aspect of the record. They're very spacey, very almost, I don't want to say like cyborg-ish, but they sound almost robotic in certain places, and it helps that really cool futuristic sound kind of poke through the otherwise just standard 80s classic Maiden sound. The flow is great. Flow is fantastic. Each song just flows basically. And there's never a song that feels out of place. There's never a song that feels too different than the rest, although they're all extremely definitive and they have their own kind of feeling. But yeah, the flow is really, really good. It's a pretty underrated album, I find. It's pretty sad. It's not that people don't like it. In fact, most people love it. But it's just an album that's not talked about nearly as much as the previous three, or even the next album. So, yeah, I think that partly has to do with the fact that it's just a lot different. Even if you look this album up live or something, you can never ever find any good live recordings of it. It just wasn't an album that got a lot of press, I guess, that got a lot of infamy. It's not as legendary as Power Slave or Peace of Mind or Number of the Beast, which I think it should be because it's great. But yeah, I really don't know what else to say. Usually my main reviews go at least over 10 minutes, but this album is just a really good album. It's one of those albums that you just need to hear, you know what I mean? Me telling you about it wouldn't exactly do much. You know, it's a very unique album, very interesting album. It's an album that I think any metal fan should check out, especially if you're open-minded, because it is synthy, it is very much different than the rest of Maiden's catalog, but it's still fantastic, and it deserves every bit of attention that the other records get. It just has a feeling that no other Maiden albums showcase. You know, very unique, very special, very different, and very, very, very spacey. So I'm going to give this album a 9.5. I love it. I think it's great. I think any Maiden fan who hasn't heard it, which if you're a Maiden fan you probably have, but if you haven't, you definitely need to check it out. It's just an album that everybody needs to hear. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm done. Sort of. Obviously I did it in the different order. You know, I already filmed it, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to be bringing you guys a lot more reviews. I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time.